hit that.
It's all good.
Please don't bump the mic. Just kidding.
Sorry. You're a musician.
You
Make
didn't
sure
hear
to bump it every time. No.
Yes.
And but with that, hello and welcome to the largest podcast. My name is Mr. David Rano, and today we have our studio as our co-host
Yo.
and an amazing artist that we've gotten to chat at shows, but this is our first time having him on the podcast, Mr. Michael, also known as Oil Beach.
Thank you, David.
Yes,
Awesome to be here. Appreciate you inviting me.
Yes, thank you, and we're gonna have an amazing chat right after the jingle.
Right after these messages.
Right after these messages. You are listening to the LA Artist Podcast, where we chat with local artists about their works, styles, what influenced them to start their artist journey, and more. Subscribe so you don't miss the latest episode. And to see bonus content, check out our website on the description below. This podcast is produced by Lorano Gallery, an LA-based gallery and studio space dedicated to showcase work from upcoming artists, as well as provide space for art shows, workshops, photo and film production. Feel free to check out the gallery at loranogallery.com. Hello and welcome to the largest podcast. Again, I am your host for the evening or morning or wherever it is that you're listening to, Mr. David Rano, our studio as a co-host, and again, Michael. Welcome.
Thank you, David.
It's been a minute, right? It's like we haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah, it's been a minute. I think we've both been busy all of us have been busy with our various things.
Yeah.
Super busy, which is really good.
That's
for us.
good. That's good. And then for our first timers, for our audience, for people who may not know you that well, can you give us like a little description of yourself and your art?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Mike Biagiotti. I put out art under a brand Oil Beach, which stands for Only in Long Beach. I was originally from New York, Long Island, but I moved out to Southern California at 9 years old. Grew up in the skate, surf, kind of punk rock culture, and I've lived in LA a number of years, and then I've been in Long Beach for about 15 years. Yeah, so very influenced by all the different cultures in Los Angeles and just the vibrancy and capturing the energy. I use mixed media, photography, oils. Now I just started using acrylics, all over the place.
Yeah. And then we know you very well for your frames, because you also create your own custom frames as well.
Yes. So I got into doing that a few years back when I started my brand Oil Beach. I put out, hats and T-shirts and pins and things, but also creating art, really a lot of it based on Long Beach culture, like car culture and some of the businesses. And so I would wanted to combine photography with, I was doing watercolor, ink, colored pencil, and putting them side by side. And I wanted to frame them in a cool way and in an industrial way. And I have no background in woodworking or any of that, so I just kind of stumbled on it and felt my way through. Yeah, now it's become a signature part of my work, and I'm constantly expanding on the frames to make them, they're part of the art now.
Yeah, because you brought a piece that is one of your earlier works that's behind us, and even that one not only has like vibrant colors that pop, you can see a little bit of that surfer culture-esque, but you also did a wood frame, a smaller wood frame for this one, correct?
Yeah, so this one's probably about 25 years old. It's called Corrupted by Television, and actually 2003 I was in the Lollapalooza tour across the country with my art, and I brought this piece and I sold shirts of this and prints of this. But this one is probably to oil on canvas and like self-taught. So for some reason I gravitated towards oils when I was painting. I mean, people I think thought it was a little weird because acrylics is usually what people go
a little easier to work with.
Yeah, but for some reason that's what I rolled with, and I liked the texture that I could get into it. But and so I had a bunch of work. And I would put on my own art shows when I was living in LA with the help of my girlfriend / muse, Zoe Astorius. And so when I started doing my own shows, different places, you put a little frame on it and it really cleans it up, and suddenly it makes it more professional.
Yeah, more
So-
desirable.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. It's amazing how much he cleans it up. So that was probably my first foray into my
And-
frames,
yeah,
but I didn't
into the-
think about it as framing like some of my other stuff here.
Yeah. Yeah. And then going from that to the frames, we'll go with the frames for a little bit. Do you have a specific type of wood that you like to use?
So when I started, like a few years back, I was finding old wood, like it could be old pallet wood. Like I had a friend Tara who has um, a car shop, I guess, and she had all this old wood in the back. So she gave me a bunch of old wood, and it was really cool because it was all warped and distressed naturally
Mhm.
from being out for 10 years in this lot. But it's kind of difficult to work with. Like this is an older piece here where I used old wood from pallets, but I sand it, and this is stained, and I brand a lot of my frames.
Mhm.
It says M. Biagiotti, handmade in Long Beach, California. So that's kind of a cool, fun thing. I started doing the
Yeah.
branding. But what's difficult about found wood, you got to go out and find it. So that takes time. And then when you're working with it, it's always a little bit warped, which is kind of cool and adds a vibe. But then it's more difficult
To get it
to
straight.
get it, and all the sanding and then the staining and stuff. So I buy some simple wood also, like in this style at Home Depot, and I still sand it and stain it and give it a cool vibe
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
And all the stuff the hardware I buy, it's looks silver, but I distress it, usually soaking it in vinegar and lemon juice for a few days, and then that gets it to this cool kind of distressed patina kind of look.
Yeah. A little rusted without it being rusted.
Yeah, because actually I have pieces where another step, if I want to take that further, is then spraying it with hydrogen peroxide and vinegar and salt, and then that instantly rusts it.
Yeah.
But I kind of decided I liked this phase.
A little bit easier.
Yeah, a little bit. I do have pieces where the rust works really well, but
I can dig that. Yeah, and it's crazy how like it looks simple, but it gives it such a greater element because it's literally just 4 pieces of wood. I think most of them is like 1 by 2 inch
yes.
wood, and then just using the simple L brackets to kind of put it all together. You put almost a thin plywood in the back
Yeah, so
for the
like
piece itself.
Yeah, these pieces here, the artwork itself, is all like watercolor ink, colored pencil on paper with the photos collaged on top. And then I glue those to a thin piece of plywood, which is then just screwed
onto the frame.
itself.
Yeah.
So it's very simple because, like I said, I have no background in woodworking,
Yeah.
so I just had to simplify things. But I like that rustic look, and my art I think has a raw quality to it. So the rawness of the frames actually complements my work well, I believe, and I've got that feedback. So that's why I've kind of been rolling with it.
Yeah. And it does look amazing, like because the distress of the wood complements the colors that you use, the either also the subject matter that you use as well. So
Cool.
it works really, really cool.
Thank you.
It's really cool. It's like welcome to a woodworking 101 at the at the largest podcast.
And looking at the metal that you what is it, distressed? It's got these rings around them that also like complement the wood. So the little rings on the wood, it's also on the metal, so it
Right.
it plays very well.
Yes,
like
thank you,
the
thank
wood
you.
grain, but on the metal.
Yeah, it works. It's like, especially looking at the one behind me.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when you're distressing the metal, they come out slightly different all the time.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's no perfection in that, and that's also what I like. That there's improvisation to it. It comes out a little different, maybe slightly every time.
That's cool.
I like the piece that Andrew is looking at. Yeah, so you can see I also put little washers sometimes on the screws, the silver washers. Yes, and that adds a different
A little
randomness
pop.
to it, a little
Yeah.
pop here or there. It's kind of cool.
And then the question that you've probably heard a million times: how long does it usually take to do a piece, or even just to do the frame?
Yeah, well, so what's interesting is when I'm doing my oil paints or now acrylics, I can do those. My design work, I work very quickly at improvisational. Like I used to do a lot of live painting at shows and stuff. And so I learned to just trust my instincts and roll with it.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I've recently watched like Keith Haring doing some of his graffiti work, and that inspires me because he's so confident in how he just puts down his strong lines. And I feel like the more I have that, actually, the better it comes, because better it comes out. And like I now have developed that. Well, even if I quote make a mistake, I can correct it.
Yeah.
Some other line. This
Yeah.
line I think is out of place, but guess what? I'll put this line out of here, and it'll suddenly balance it.
Yeah.
But like the like this style, the watercolor ink and colored pencil, because I use the stipple shading, it can take a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. Like I think sometimes people see my stuff on paper like this, and they're not as impressed as say with the oil on canvas or the acrylics, just because it's paint. But this actually takes a lot more work and is harder to do. And till I get to the point where I'm making thousands of dollars on my work, partially is why I've right now leaning towards my acrylics and oils, because people just instantly see more value in that.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, they see like, oh, it's paint. It must be art.
yes,
It's like, oh, it's
exactly,
drawings.
exactly.
My kid could do that. It's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Because then even when you get into this stuff with photography, you're talking about going out and taking photographs, and that can take hours.
Yeah.
And you just take a bunch of photographs, and then you got to sort through it and mess with the photographs to get them how the vibe you want before
Yeah.
you cut them out and collage them. Yeah, then the frames take a few hours, to assemble or more. So yeah, there's a lot of work that goes into all of it. And
So all in all, 20 minutes.
oh yeah, 20
Yeah.
minutes.
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Yeah, let's not exaggerate. 15 minutes
yeah.
done.
Yeah, you
Start to
got it.
finish.
You got
I come up with the idea, do it, make the frame, 15 minutes
Yeah.
out.
Done.
yeah, but it's 20 minutes with a beer.
Oh
With
yeah,
the
yeah,
beer.
20 minutes with a beer. 5-minute beer break.
Yeah. 5-minute beer break every 5 minutes. Yeah.
OSHA says that's required.
Yes.
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 It's definitely required.
Drink on the job.
That's really cool. And then as far as you touched a little bit on the subject matter. You coming from New York over to the West Coast and getting influenced by the West Coast vibes. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Like, what are some of the inspirations that you kind of rely on to get like color palettes or things like that?
Yeah, so like again, being self-taught, my color palette that I use, bright, bold colors and the shapes even, it's just very natural. It's not something like, I know some artists who look at color wheels and balance things, which is cool, but I put down one color and then I react to it. And so because I see colors as energy, and so really you're just balancing energy with the colors. And again, coming from like the 80s skate surf culture, just think of all the bright colors in the 80s.
Yeah.
But also like Latino culture, specifically Mexican art, growing up in Southern California, there's a lot of vibrancy to all of that just I'm around it. Like I used to go to Tijuana a lot when I was a kid with my mom and parents, and just to hang out. And so I think I was very influenced by that. And what's an interesting crossover, so back east, Italian culture is much more of a not minority, but it's a, what do you call it, like a different culture. It's not white, it's Italian.
Yeah.
And there's also between Mexican, Latino culture, there's that whole Catholic crossover. And so I found that that's maybe why I gravitate a little towards that out
All
here.
right. Mhm.
So, but I think all that influences me, like some of my designs. Like I have a lot of people say that I have that, like in South American, Central American. I always think specifically Mexican because growing here, there's a lot of,
Yeah.
Mexican culture, but they see that in my work, and they also see a ancientness to it, but also a futuristic thing. How I
Yeah.
balance it, and that's just not an intentionally thought out thing, but I think that's kind of cool. People see that.
Yeah. Yeah. I can definitely see that in even like in this piece with how you have the subject, even the face, how like it can be influenced by like Mayan
Yes.
carvings or Aztec
Yeah,
carvings.
yeah, all that
and,
kind
like,
of stuff.
Yeah. But it definitely has a uniqueness to it. It's not like, oh, you're copying that exactly.
Right. It's just
Like,
naturally
yeah.
absorbing it, living here. Just like I think you could probably look at my work and see that Picasso is someone that influences me a lot. Like I always felt I just naturally understood his work, I guess, or
Mhm.
something like that, and I really liked it. So, and I think that although I have influenced by him, I don't think I come off as copying him. Hopefully not. I think a
Well-
balancing of all my other influences.
Yeah, no, it is because I see that too, the cubist esque,
Yeah.
but except more roundish.
Right.
So
right,
it's
right.
it's not cubist, it's
Well,
roundist.
yeah, you can definitely see the
roundest.
cubist influence. though.
Yeah, that abstract cubist,
Yes.
surreal, with the bold lines.
Right.
It plays off really well.
Thank you. I appreciate
Like
it.
I love all your faces for the most part that
Yes.
you do there.
Yes, I'm refocusing recently on my abstract faces. Probably in the last 6 months, I hadn't used oil paints and done abstract faces specifically in many years. And then this summer, I got out the oils because literally oils from 15 years ago, just backed away and just started using them. I wasn't sure if they would still be good, but they
Yeah.
were
Oh,
fine,
they're
and
good.
just started doing a bunch of stuff. And I really like what painting with oils. What I like is I feel more emotionally expressive with it than say doing my watercolor and ink stuff. Like the
Mhm.
actual process is more cathartic. And
Yeah.
last year, I like to say was like a country western song for me because I got divorced, left my job, my dog died, another woman broke my heart.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I needed cathartic moments. So oil painting, the expressiveness of that really, I really got back into it. And now it's interesting because then that's led me to using acrylics because I like the layering. Like I've asked Andrew recently about his use of acrylics.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
one of
yeah.
the people that I would taking mental notes, and then I started using it. Like I got into the acrylic paint pens because
Mhm.
I spoke with Andrew
yeah.
about that.
Yeah.
So
Did you like it?
I love it actually.
Yeah.
Like I wish all my new stuff is out in the wild. Like I did a series of 11 pieces for the Good Bar. It's a skate bar in Long Beach that I'll have a show up for another 4 or 5 weeks. It's all like I called it my postmodern deconstructed skate art, but I have a bunch of acrylic pieces in that, and I did because acrylics I really only started using in the last 2 months. But I'm digging just the layering, how it dries quick and you can layer, and so
Mhm. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. And with that, let's go into a quick little Quick&A. The Quick&A, which is a quick questions and answers.
okay.
And it's a series that we've been doing for I think almost since the beginning of the podcast, right?
The very
And
beginning.
it's very simple.
Okay.
You got to do quick answers though.
Okay.
It's called Quick&A, or it's called Quick Questions and Answers.
So don't overthink it.
Yeah, don't overthink it. But it's never that quick anyways. It doesn't really matter. It's a gimmick
Shh, don't tell the audience. But yeah, are you ready?
Yeah, let's do it.
Are you nervous?
Extremely.
You should be.
You should be. We'll start off with some simple ones that we always ask. Pen or pencil?
Pencil
Pencil.
for sketching.
Yeah. Regular pencil or lead pencil?
Regular pencil.
What size? What's your favorite size? Or
Size.
favorite thickness?
Hardness.
Hardness.
You know, I don't even know.
I have the regular number 2 pencil.
So I'll go number 2, standard number 2.
Yeah, the yellow standard number 2.
A friend of ours said, like, I'll do a standard number 2 just in case I'm either drawing something or have to take an impromptu test.
Yeah, and when I use pencils, I like for sketching.
Yeah.
So like it doesn't matter per se.
Yeah.
Have you
I'm
tried
not-
sketching with pens?
I have. So I do that some, but I say general sketching, yeah, just pencil. But then obviously my work, I'm using pen. So I
Yeah.
was thinking sketching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's all good. Favorite medium?
Oh man, that's even harder because of mixed medium. But right now, I just got into acrylics and I'm really enjoying that. So I'll just say acrylics right
I
now.
can do that. That's your favorite for the time being.
Yes, but obviously I
Yeah.
love oils and
Yeah.
as well. So
Yeah. Favorite shape?
favorite would crown be a shape? Because I use a
Yeah.
lot of crowns in my work, I realize.
would
And
say-
eyes. So circles.
Circles and crowns?
Yeah.
Even though eyes are more ovals. I
Yeah,
guess.
so oval. Let's
Oh.
go oval. Look at the
Oval.
eyes, because eyes I like. So
Yeah.
we'll go oval.
Ovals.
Have you tried just making like the crown shape with the eye on the crown as the jewel?
I think I have a little bit. Yeah, in some of my work. Like,
Yeah.
because I always use also the third eye a lot, which is right by the crown.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think I got some.
Well,
right.
Make it the jewel of the crown, that third
Ooh,
eye.
Yeah. There you go.
That's a sticker.
All right.
What about having the crown be the pupil itself?
Well, okay, that's
Instead of
not
being the
something
circle,
I did.
the
Yeah.
full
I
crown.
That's
like
another-
That. Thank you. I might steal that. Thank you.
Trademark, I get 10%.
Yeah,
Another-
of
we got to
course.
record
That's
it.
another sticker.
9%. I'll give you.
Sure, why not? 9.2%.
Okay, 9.2. All right, deal.
9.2% AARP.
Yes. Do you finish a sketchbook or do you just buy another sketchbook?
I'm not someone who has. I gotta have a sketchbook and I just.
Finish it or
Yeah, I probably have a bunch of sketchbooks sitting around that have random stuff in it. So,
I can do that. Yeah. Well, I think we're the same way. Like
How many sketchbooks have you finished, if any?
Well, recently I dug up a bunch of books from when I was living in LA, but also doing music. So they're like a combination of lyrics and
Yeah.
sketches, and it was kind of cool to revisit myself from
Ooh.
20 years ago. Because I don't know if I mentioned on the podcast, but I mentioned to you guys that I started playing music again.
Nice.
So I'm revisiting songs and things like that.
New inspirations.
Yes, exactly.
I like that. Favorite drink while you're creating or you're painting?
See, I want to say red wine. I got into Apothic. It's a cheaper red wine, but red blend that I really like. But when you're drinking too much, it's a bad thing. So
Yeah.
I actually like to drink non-alcoholic beer
dig
when
that.
I'm working. So I'm
Okay.
not like suddenly 3 glasses of wine in and messing up a line on a
Yeah.
painting. You know what I mean?
I can dig that. A responsible drinker.
I
Yes.
still prefer the alcoholic beer.
Well, yeah. As soon as I'm
That's-
done,
yeah.
I'm on the alcoholic beer,
During.
probably smoking a bowl too.
During, it makes your lines more interesting.
Yeah. And then speaking a little bit about music, what's your top song that you're listening to right now? Or, like, what's on your playlist?
What's funny is I only recently started listening to Billie Eilish, and there's a song called, I don't even know how to say it. It's like Ilo Milo. It's a
Okay.
cool song that I really like, and that suddenly I started listening to her a little bit
Nice.
more.
Yeah.
And she's kind of cool.
I
Oh
can
yeah,
dig
she's
that.
pretty cool.
You know,
Yeah.
sometimes following someone and you hear about the hype and you almost don't want to like them, and then you go, wait a minute, they are pretty cool.
Sometimes the hype is because they're really good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's not just Hollywood machine just churning something out.
Why do you think she won an Oscar?
Yeah,
her and her brother with music.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because it is one of those things. Like I haven't heard a lot of her music, just some of the top songs. Like when I watch the Grammys or the Oscars, and then she's performing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's
And,
all I would see too.
And but yeah, she does have an amazing voice.
Right.
An
And she's
amazing-
a stark contrast to like, I think one of my major influences as a musician is John Lee Hooker. So that's a stark contrast to Billie Eilish. But yeah.
But that's good. It's good to have
exactly.
those two extremes.
Yes.
And then speaking of extremes, chess or checkers?
I would have to go checkers because I barely know anything about chess.
All right, no worries. Favorite checkers piece? Do you have one?
Favorite what?
Checkers piece, one of the pieces.
I didn't know they're different. Aren't they all the same?
My favorite is the red one.
Oh. Always bet on black.
What's your favorite aisle in a store? Like, what's your go-to aisle?
The beer / wine and liquor aisle, maybe.
I can dig that.
That's a good aisle. That's a good aisle.
I feel like that's the best aisle. Well, let's see. What's this other one? Oh, this one's really. Well, I think we kind of touched a little bit on this one. What's your favorite old master?
Old
master, like old painter.
Oh, Picasso.
Picasso,
For sure. Yeah, and I heard he could be a jerk, but I like his work.
Yeah, it's like communist, but
it's like
good artist. But
I don't like you as a person, but I like your paintings.
Yeah, so he was like a rock star,
Yeah.
like from a super early age.
yeah,
So
created an entire movement or pushed forward an entire movement.
yeah.
So it's
And
like,
I was like, I
That
heard that
person-
he was
decent
a
art.
Renaissance quality painter when he was like a teenager, and so when he went his whole route, basically no one could argue with him because he could do everything. So
Yeah.
no, this is what I want to do. So
Yeah.
fuck you.
yeah,
Sorry if you don't use profanity.
No,
on
it's
this
all good.
podcast.
it's all good.
But that's something he would say.
But that is something that's quoted directly from him, but in Spanish. 'Cause, do you paint standing up or sitting down?
Sitting on a stool.
So sitting
So,
down.
Yeah, sitting down, but not low, but high. You know
Okay.
what I mean? So it's semi-standing sitting like
I
it's
can
on
do
a
that.
stool.
I can do that. Coffee or tea?
Coffee in the morning, herbal tea at night, maybe with a little whiskey in it.
Ooh,
Irish tea.
Irish tea.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. I'm a quarter Irish, not just all Italian.
Favorite.
That's sorry, but that's two good combinations, like wine and whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah, that is true.
I have a song called Whiskey Drinking Time that, really highlights that side of me.
There you
I
go.
like that. He's gonna perform right now. No, I'm just kidding. Favorite vegetable.
Favorite vegetable? This is, I don't know, potato.
Potato. Because you're Irish.
Yes, and you can make it into vodka
That's
if
true.
you're Russian. No, I don't know. I guess really no. I would say avocado. Actually.
Avocado.
Yeah,
I can do it.
But is that a vegetable?
Not a
it's not a
It's a
vegetable.
fruit.
I think it's a
Are you
fruit.
sure?
It grows on trees and it's got seeds.
You got a seed on the inside.
Okay, we're gonna agree to disagree.
All right. I can dig that. It
It's
is
a-
green, like a
Yes.
good vegetable.
It's a good whatever it is.
It's a good whatever
It's
it
so
is.
good.
Yes.
It's so good.
And then final question: if your paintings can live inside a movie, what movie would you see your paintings in?
Ooh, wow. Now I'm just trying to think of movies that I loved growing up. Like if they could be gone back and put into Fight Club,
Ooh.
because I used to love that movie. I watched it a million times. It's a long time I haven't seen it, but I think I could have a dark element but with bright color in the background that
see
would
that.
be kind of weird in that movie.
Yeah, like in their like in their like mansion, like broken down
yeah.
mansion.
No.
Exactly.
At the guy's at the guy's house. You know where
His
where-
apartment.
at the new house where they go in and do all the stuff.
The
Well, yeah,
Paper
yeah.
Street house.
Yeah.
That's the mansion or whatever thing.
Oh, is
Yeah,
it?
yeah, that's
'Cause-
what,
yeah,
yeah,
'cause-
exactly.
Have it as a background, or
yeah.
and then have one of your bigger pieces in the final like building that they're in, watching all the destruction.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
would be
it'll
cool.
be
I
just-
like
It'll
it.
be just in the.
I like it.
It's like in one of the offices, just a giant painting.
Yeah,
while they look out.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That'd be
All
really
right,
cool.
All right,
I-
let's
I-
make it happen.
Yeah,
Do
I
it.
can see that. I
Let's
can
reshoot.
So yeah, if they're gonna do a sequel to that one, let us know.
We could CGI it in, or
Oh, yeah.
whatever it's called these days.
We
right?
got
Yeah.
filmmakers. We know filmmakers. We could
Yeah,
make it happen.
we'll staple it onto the TV. Yeah.
Mhm.
And but yeah, thank you for participating on the Quick and A.
Yeah, thank you.
It's hopefully it was fun and
yeah,
entertaining
yes.
and easy. Right? It was
Yes.
easy. It was
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
easy. And
Easy peasy.
You're still nervous?
you're still
Oh,
there?
super nervous.
You should be. No, I'm just- and then with that, we'll do a quick little commercial break, and we'll be right back.
This photographer and say, "Hey, I got this opportunity. Let's do those collaboration pieces." So you know what I mean? They pan out later.
Yeah.
Just plant that seed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's what it's about, because it's a journey.
Yeah,
It's a journey. It's not a flash.
exactly.
And that's kind of what we'll be talking about right now. Hello and welcome back from the ad break. Hopefully you buy stuff, because technically it's merch.
right.
We got some merch,
Merch.
Pod
merch.
some pod merch, and but yeah, I do like what you just mentioned on planting seeds, and because again, the collaboration aspect is a big part of the artist's journey.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
you
for
have
sure.
to not only be inspired by others, but if you can work with other artists, that's a big help.
Right, exactly. So I know you're referencing like these two pieces. I collaborated with a photographer, Calvin Leonard. He's from Santa Monica, Los Angeles, heavy into the car culture scene.
Mhm.
Super cool guy. And so we did a number of pieces together. So it's really cool.
Yeah, and then with that, one of the questions that we ask our guests, our artist friends, is in the journey of being an artist, because it's obviously it's not we finish it, we get a degree, and then we're artists. Like no, it's steps,
I
right?
don't even have the degree.
Yeah, the only degree I have is the heat that's coming into my face right now.
I only wear degree when I go play sports.
Yes. Degree, please sponsor us. We need
Otherwise,
more.
it'll be Old Spice.
But where do you find yourself in that journey? Like, because obviously we're not beginners, because
No.
we've been doing art for many years now.
Yes.
So, are you intermediate? Are you good to go? Do you want to retire next year, or
Retire from being an artist?
Yeah.
No,
Or your career's still going.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm just kicking into gear right now. Like I mentioned earlier, last year, 2023, was kind of a interesting, rough year. A lot of changes in my life, and I honestly feel like I'm getting back into the flow / insanity of the artist's mind of from 20 years ago, but at the same time doing so much, and I feel like my art is still growing, expanding in really cool ways, and I have so much to explore, and it's just getting better and better, and I can even tell I'm starting to attract opportunities that are strange. And when I was younger, I used to attract really odd, weird people to me, and that's happening again, and I like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's kind of like a rebirth.
Yes,
Yeah.
completely. I had locked certain parts of me away for the last 15, 20 years that are resurfacing. But now that I'm wiser, more mature, I understand things a little bit better and how to deal with it. And I think things are flowing in a positive direction for me, manifesting things, if you will.
I think it's the hat. The hat.
The hat. The
Yes.
hat helps.
And yes, I've been wearing these hats for like 30-something years, and you can thank John Lee Hooker for that. I wanted to be John Lee Hooker when I was younger.
I mean, it's a cool hat.
It's a
great hat.
It fits on you well.
Thank you.
And like with that, if you can, I don't want to go too deep into it, but can you talk a little bit about how do you keep the motivation going? Like, because I know you've had a couple of rough patches. But
Yeah.
Like, how do you do you use some of that to push you forward?
Oh yeah. Completely. A lot of my art is completely emotion based, and so when I have emotionally trying times, yes, I just put it all into my art, whether I was doing music or painting. Again, talking about how I got back into oil painting last summer for the cathartic aspect of it. Yes, I just pour into it, and one of the things that's helped me as an artist I've always had is it's my art. I can do no wrong. So
like
it
that.
gives me confidence to do whatever I want because it's my art. No one can tell me it's wrong. So there's no mistakes to be made.
Yeah.
And so, especially now, I'm actually getting back into my strength as an artist and understanding that as a power we have as artists, like as expression, and how important that is to society as a whole. And that I feel like this is what I do, and I just got to keep doing it. I'm getting heavily into it because I worked in corporate America for the last 18 and a half years until I quit my job, and I could realize that was draining my soul. And I was like, I'd rather just get back into art and go 100% all in what, we'll see where that goes, then slowly die in corporate America.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah. No,
If that
and,
answers your question.
yeah. No, and I like the mentality that you just mentioned of, I'm an artist, I can do no wrong, and that's how it should be, because sometimes we find ourselves, it's like we'll do a sketch or half a painting and then ask somebody else like, oh, how can I fix it? And like,
Right.
no, it's like you're not finished yet, so you have to realize that you're not doing it wrong, you just haven't finished.
Yes, exactly. When I was younger, I would, I think, rely on other people's criticism of my work. And actually, that's, to me, was a weakness. Now I'm like, I don't care what you think.
Yeah.
This is my work. Like I said, I can do no wrong because it's my work. You may not like it. I don't care.
Yeah.
But from my perspective, this is what I do, and I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Especially if you're putting your emotion into it.
Yeah.
Because somebody else doesn't have your same emotions, like they have a different opinion, they have a different life.
And you can't make everyone happy, so
Yeah,
may as well make
exactly.
yourself happy.
Yeah.
Your work.
Yeah.
I like when I'm at a show, and this happens especially with like a few older generations. They come up to my pieces, and they look at it. They get this. They put a weird face, and then they audibly say, "I don't get it." I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. It's like, I don't get it. Yeah, because you get there's always people that they're not gonna get your artwork, and that's fine. It's like,
Oh my God.
yeah, a friend of ours said that as long as you're getting reactions from people, you're successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Because even to that point, they were there looking at the piece, thinking about it.
Yeah, it made them think.
It made them think, and their mind wasn't able to process what they were looking at,
Yeah.
Exactly.
but they were thinking.
right.
Like, yes, they don't get it, whether it be fortunate or unfortunate,
Mm-hmm.
but they were at least thinking about it and getting a reaction out of it.
Yes. What do you say to them next time? Oh, that's okay. You're just small-minded. No, I totally do that. I would never say that to anyone, and I don't even think
But
that.
you think it,
But just
though.
think how they would react to that.
No, I was just laughing on the inside, a little
Yes,
bit smiling on the outside.
try
but-
to- I'm
Yeah.
the same way. When that happens to me, I
Yeah.
smile,
Yeah,
politely nod, and go, excellent.
It's
Thank
like,
you.
It's like
Thank you.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your input.
Yeah.
Next.
Thank you for your candor.
Yeah.
Is it candor or kinder?
Candor.
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 I think.
Yes, I
Thank you
believe
for your
so.
candor.
Yeah, because as artists, we want people to not just see it but react to it.
Right.
Because and obviously, if their reaction is positive, they'll buy it, and if the reaction is negative, you're never gonna see them again.
Right. And what's funny is the piece by Andrew there, I showed at an art walk in January, and I had someone, they really liked the piece, except not the circuit board.
Oh.
So, I gave him my card and I said,
It's like, I
don't
guess
contact me. I'll make you something without the circuit board. They didn't
Yeah.
get back to me, but
Yet.
exactly.
Yeah.
The seed has been planted. Like
Yeah.
But
we were
until
discussing.
then, circuit boards on every painting.
Yes.
Yeah, because it is, like everybody has just different tastes.
Oh yeah.
Everybody has different tastes, and we can't focus on the audience taste to influence our work. No, we have to create the work, and if they like it, great. If they don't like it, it's okay.
Right.
It's okay.
And like we said, if literally, I have no problem if someone likes my style, but then like the circuit board, I could paint. I could paint a whole bunch of abstract faces and just put frames on them. And if they want to buy one, I might up the price. But there you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, because it is a commissioned,
It's like-
requested piece.
No substitutions.
Exactly.
No substitutions.
And even with that, with the circuit board, like because that's relatively new, right?
Yeah, that's new,
it's
and
new
that's,
technique.
I just find those on the streets and stuff. So
Why
it's
is it upside down?
Technically, it should be sideways, but
You
that's for
that's for you tech nerds or something. I think it's perfectly placed.
Yes. Little skew whiff, but it's all good.
It's all good. Yeah. Like I might have some like old monitors that aren't working if you want some extra pieces.
Maybe I will.
But like, are there? So what are some of the new techniques that you find yourself inspired by? Because you mentioned you're getting into like acrylics, using the acrylic paint markers.
Yes. So using the acrylics, like I was saying, I like the layering effect because it dries so quickly. Like when I do my oil paintings, it's just, I believe you call it wet on wet.
Yeah.
Just everything's wet. I don't wait for anything to dry. I'm just painting. So with acrylics, obviously everything's drying. So then you could layer easier. And so I'm still learning about that technique. And then even like, I want to get maybe into spray paint a little bit with stencils over some of this stuff, which I know is not a revolutionary concept, but it's not something I've done personally.
Yeah. Are you gonna make your own stencils?
What's that?
Are you gonna make your own stencils, or you're just?
I would
getting-
assume so. I didn't know you could buy stencils, so I was planning to make my own, which I have no idea how to make. So that's something we're talking about influence earlier. I've never been a graffiti artist, but I've always been heavily influenced by the flow and bright colors and spontaneity of graffiti art. And so I even feel with my acrylic art, I get a little bit more of that graffiti street art feel to it, which I think is super cool. And I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. So one of the things with the acrylics and the paint pens, I started taking the paint onto the frames itself. And so it then takes the art just from just the canvas or wood onto the frame. So that's something I'm doing, a technique that I'm experimenting with to expand not just my art, but the artist of my framing, because we talked about that is now a signature part of my art. So
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, I do want to see some of those pieces, and hopefully, it would be cool to have even some of your art style, if you want to dive more into like the spray painting,
Right.
to do it onto like larger walls or murals.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So like right now in Long Beach, I have art in 6 different places, from restaurants, bars, and galleries. So
Brag much? No, I'm just kidding. That's good.
promotion. It's
Promotion.
called
It's good
promotion.
promotion. Yes, it's
Oh,
not
That's
bragging,
one
it's
thing I
promotion.
learned when I was
Yeah.
saying 20 years ago. I wouldn't have promote it like this, but now
Yeah.
we got to get it out
yeah.
there.
Which
So my
places-
point
which
is, I'm
places
trying.
are
The
they?
reason I did that because I want my art in the community.
Yeah.
Like I feel like my art represents, and I've been told this a lot about Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
So my next step is to try and get murals.
Yeah.
I've never done murals. One of the my friend, who's a local Long Beach artist, he's an abstract artist, Ivilo. His wife Kati teaches visual projection art at Cypress College, and she did an event and she projected my art onto 20-foot walls, just projected, and then that lit the light bulb. Oh, wait a minute, my art would be a good mural. Like I never thought about it that way. So I've recently signed up with the Long Beach Arts Council to try and get
A mural.
murals.
Some murals.
Long
That would be
Beach, which
really
was
cool.
something I would love to do, and I've never done it. But again, with confidence as I get older, I can certainly do murals, and I know people who do them, and I know they're certainly willing to help me and give me advice. So
Even
if
if you
it's-
start with electrical boxes, I know Long Beach does a lot of
right,
that.
all
so
of that stuff. Like I've applied for that,
Yeah.
rejected.
Same.
But again, at least you applied. for
Yes.
Yes, you can't get something if you don't apply.
it. Yeah.
And then the more you apply, the more you kind of learn the game of it all, because it's a game. 'Cause the bureaucracy of city art, there's a game to it, and knowing who you know and talking to the right people,
Yeah.
which is another reason. So when I apply for the murals, I highlight, I'm in all these places in Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
Again,
Yeah.
not bragging
That.
per se.
Yeah.
I mean,
But just saying
Promoting.
I'm doing this.
it's not
look.
bragging if it's true.
Exactly.
But it's
Yeah.
like saying, I'm doing this. The
Yeah.
next step would have mural art.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever what is it? Powwow or the
But-
Whenever it comes back to Long Beach,
Right. Long Beach Walls. Is that what powwow became more now? Is that?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I
So
just-
trying to get into that whole scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like I know, well, like in our location, we do have a wall where we like to spray paint, and you have a couple characters and stuff like that.
If you need to
Right.
practice.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
okay.
one of the things that we want to do
Alright.
is like every 6 months to a year, switch it up, like put new artwork.
Yeah,
on
I'd be
and stuff
down
like
just
that. And-
because that would be a good learning process for me.
and even at that, like I think we've done a couple events here where we'll have like a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and we'll just put it on an easel, and then just spray paint on it.
Yeah.
and like
that's
have
cool.
people try it for the first time. It's nothing like, oh, we're not gonna make a finished piece that's gonna sell. Like, no, just like
But-
kind of like a little workshop.
But
Like,
you
come
never
hang out.
know.
You never
Exactly,
know.
you never know.
I mean, even at your place, if you want to practice with spray paint, just look for a large plywood or whatever, and then do your own piece, and then just frame it with,
Yeah.
frame it with your
totally.
your frame style,
Yeah. I
and
totally
then
get
and then
that.
try to take, if you like it, take that to some shows,
Yeah,
Yeah.
something bigger, but with your spray paint style,
yeah,
Yeah.
if you like it.
yeah. Because it is one of those things where there is no such thing as I can't. 'Cause
Exactly.
everything now is so accessible.
Yeah, don't limit yourself.
Yeah, like spray paint is not as expensive as it used to be.
No.
It's like sheets of wood that you can practice on. You can find them either in back alleys or go to Home Depot, get a nice one, and it's not as expensive as it used to be. The wood prices have gone down too. So
Right. Yeah. Especially since the COVID time.
Yeah.
And if you don't like wearing the safety masks, I recommend getting the 94 cans by Montana. They smell like cotton candy, but please wear a
I like
please,
cotton candy.
Yeah,
Please-
but
please
please,
wear a
wear a
safety
safety mask.
but it
Please
smells so good.
It smells
So
really good.
that's funny. So
It doesn't smell industrial.
I don't know if this is true or not, but so when I being self-taught and I would just do oil painting. So when I was in LA doing all my music and I would paint a lot, I would get, I think, really high on oil paint fumes. I don't know, or maybe
Oh.
it was some chemicals I was using.
On the cleaning solution.
Where
you
were
the
did.
you-
cleaning, because I would use
placed in it?
terpenoid, so maybe it
Oh,
was the
yeah.
terpenoid. But
Most likely.
I felt like I was a huffer. Maybe that's why I liked oil painting so much. I don't know, but because I never like to, I don't really
They
like
didn't
to
call
be
you Mike Drowsy
drinking
for
or
nothing.
smoking when I smoke a pot when I'm painting. But afterwards, I like to,
Yeah.
get high and look at my art and go, oh wow.
Mhm.
I actually
But,
did a good job.
Yeah, that's cool. But getting high off the
Off the
fumes.
fumes, yeah.
I didn't mind. Might have killed some brain cells, but I liked it.
It made your art better. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like your attitude.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it is one of those things where like we are strong with just be safe with
Oh yeah,
chemicals.
Trust me.
And again, even with that, like safety equipment doesn't cost that much anymore. Like, you could get a simple, not a dust mask, because dust mask only works for dust.
I know the ones
But
that does
getting
that.
like a good respirator,
Yes.
it'll last you a couple years, and it'll save your lungs many lifetimes.
Well, even
and
with
it's so
when I
good.
started working with my frames, because I said I had no background in woodworking, I didn't realize I should, when I'm sanding and stuff.
Yeah.
At first, I didn't realize I needed to be wearing
Like a
a
simple
mask,
dust
just a
mask,
simple
yeah.
mask. So now I do that all the time. But no, and I joked about huffing paint. With,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no, I
yeah.
don't want to do that anymore. But at
Yeah.
the time, I didn't even
Yeah.
know.
It was
Like
cheaper
my
than
girlfriend
drugs.
would come home at the time, and she'd be, "Oh, you've been painting, haven't you? Because you're high as a motherfucker right now."
Yeah, no, and it is one of those things where, like, things that we've learned, essentially by mistake.
Yes, exactly.
But as long as we're learning,
I might have killed brain cells, but those were the ones that needed to die off.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not useful anyway.
Yeah, they weren't strong enough.
Exactly.
They weren't the good ones.
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah,
If they were stronger brain cells,
yeah, that is
would've
true.
evolved.
That is 100% true. and then well, speaking a little bit on that, on what we have learned, are there any tips or advice that somebody gave you along your artist journey that would be something that you would pass on to a new artist that wants to start this?
No. Or I would have to just literally say no. I don't remember getting any advice from any artist. I think the only thing that I would tell people is just, coming from the 80s punk rock, it was like DIY, do it yourself. Don't care what anyone else is doing. Just do your thing. Like, I actually feel like I thrive best when I'm creating my own opportunities. Like, currently I have a show, I think I mentioned earlier, The Good Bar, where I have all this skate art that I did, and they don't even normally show art there. And the owner, Blake, he had a piece of my art from a fundraiser, and I showed him my skateboard art, and he liked it. So I said, how about I use this wall to do a show? It's like, but I mean, just like creating your own thing, and it just learning to be confident in yourself and not relying on the opinions of others is the most important advice I would give. And maybe I wish someone had given me that earlier. Yeah. Fuck you. You're cool. Oh, you're cool too.
Yeah. I can dig that. Yeah. I do like that advice to be able to pass that on, because it is something that it's useful to create your own opportunities.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, everyone today is like, oh, give me, instead of just do it.
Yes, exactly.
Like, make your own experiment.
Exactly.
And even going back to what you said, you're like, it's my art. It's my thing. I'm not messing up. That's how I want it.
Yeah.
I can do no wrong.
Exactly. Just have the attitude. Your art is your art. You can do no wrong, and it will help you develop more and more and more. The more confidence you have, the better your art will get.
Yeah.
And I like to think that, like, the earlier you realize that you're painting for yourself, you're not painting for other people.
Right.
Yeah. Mhm.
The better your art will be, because you're just doing it because you like it. It's for you. If somebody else likes it, hey, that's great.
Right.
That's cool. But you're not doing it to satisfy somebody else's desires or anything.
Right.
Like
One
that.
of the attitudes that I've had for a really long time is, when you're in class, say high school, and you're doodling, not listening to your teacher, you don't care what you're doodling. You're just doodling. It's just on your paper.
Yeah, it was mainly
whatever.
ice for me.
And I tried to use that same attitude with my art.
Mhm.
You're just doodling,
Yeah.
but on a larger scale and
Mhm.
blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
so, like, what that means to me though is you're not worried about messing it up, because if you're just doodling, you don't care about messing up this little doodle, and you kind of make cool stuff.
Yeah.
I could probably go back to my high school doodles and go, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But if you use that same attitude with your art, like you can do no wrong. It's just a doodle, but it's on a canvas or wood or whatever, and it's large scale. But you're gonna make it cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
That's all that matters.
I can't go back to my high school doodles because they were all like in textbooks. Don't tell people I said that.
Yeah, either textbooks or
Textbooks,
on the desk itself.
Yes, and
I
I'm
don't think I
so
ever did
far
that.
out of school, I don't even know if there are textbooks anymore. Is it all on tablets? I have no idea.
Oh yeah,
Doodle on
do it on the
iPads.
tablet.
That's funny. Yeah. I wonder. Well, I'm sure they must have some physical books, but yeah, I don't know. The new generation. Well, this is the advice that we have for you guys now. You guys do whatever it is that you want with it. But
Exactly.
yeah, because again, it's, and we always like to ask that question on how, what advice we would give, because we're all learning, and the more we learn, the more information that we're gathering, and like we'll pass it on.
Exactly.
Pass it on.
Exactly.
Use it, don't
There's a
use
lot.
it.
Yeah.
Like you asked me if people gave me advice earlier. I wish people had, or maybe it was me being closed off to advice. That's probably part of the equation. Probably people wanted to give me advice, but I was stubborn or something.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You were in a punk band, so
Yeah.
Exactly.
And,
you make your own rules.
Exactly.
Yeah. But again, thank you for being a part of the show. It's always fun to chit chat.
Yeah,
And-
this was fun. A lot of
yeah.
fun. I've known you guys for a couple of years or so
Yeah.
now, and I know you're super cool. I always like talking to you, so I was very happy to come in and talk about art with you guys.
Yes, thank you. And then so for the audience, where can people see your art?
All 12 places.
Oh,
So I use Instagram mainly, and that's at Oil Beach, OIL Beach, which stands only in Long Beach. My website is also oilbeach.com. And yeah, so currently, if you're in the Long Beach area,
yes.
got my
The
list
notes.
here. So I have art at Selva,
Mm-hmm.
the Good Bar, Loiter Galleries in downtown. The Steel Cup Cafe will be up for a year. Metropolitan Design, it's a furniture store right by the Reading Room on Broadway. And I'm about to get some surf art up at Port City Tavern on Anaheim and Examino. So, like I was saying, trying to get it all out there.
Nice.
But so yeah, those are the places you can find me right now.
Yeah.
And these are all in Long Beach, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
we're in LA right now. So.
Well, FYI, Long Beach is part of LA.
Is it?
Yeah.
It is LA County, right?
LA
Yeah.
County.
Oh, LA County.
Exactly.
Oh, my bad.
That's why Long Beach is so crazy. It's on the border of Orange County with Seal Beach right there, which is crazy Orange County vibe, and then Long Beach, which is diversity and gritty and stuff. So it's cool.
Yes, a lot of art in Long Beach.
Oh yeah, Long Beach has really
lot
been
of
turning
art.
on in the last few years.
Yeah.
It's a lot happening there.
Long Beach
Worth
is where I
checking out.
started.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
that's where he
Yeah,
started his
yeah,
career.
it's like I was in high school in Gardena. My art teacher, he graduated from Cal State Long Beach, and
Oh.
he had a show in at the second Saturday art walk in downtown Long Beach,
Oh, okay.
and then he invited the class. Anybody who wants to go check it out. I was one of the few that said yes. I liked the place. I talked to the organizer, and then after high school, that's where I started showing my artwork.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So I've lived in Long Beach for over 15 years now, and it's really been grown and changed and in good ways. Of course, there's bad ways with gentrification, but we won't get into that. But the art scene is really growing and expanding right now, and I think there's still a lot of untapped potential. I still think the art scene is a little disorganized, and I think as it gets more organized, it's only going to get better and better.
Yeah. But in the meantime, it's still growing.
Yes, exactly.
It's still growing, and that's all that counts.
A lot of talented people in Long Beach.
Yeah, we've had a lot of even artists that we've had on the podcast that are from Long Beach or started in Long Beach. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I have a cool thing. There's a brand from Long Beach called Stay Anchored, my man Fish. We're gonna do a collaboration of my Hamsa design, a T-shirt that's coming out. So I'm really excited.
Nice.
He's a hustler. He's a really cool guy, and I'm excited to do that collaboration. So that hopefully will be coming out soon.
Yeah.
So watch for it.
Yeah, let us
Nice.
know, and then we'll link it in the description as well.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
that would be cool. And again, thank you for being on the show. I am Mr. David Rano. Ari Studios, our co-host, and Mike.
Biagiotti, Oil Beach.
Oil
Thank
Beach.
you.
Here we go. And then stay tuned next week for the after show with Mike.
Cheers.
Roll
cheers.
the jingle. I still don't remember my own jingle.
Oh, you should have said with Mike Drowsy.
Mike-
Mike Drowse. With Mike Drowse.
Right.
You have been listening to the LA Artist Podcast. Feel free to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss the latest episode. You can see bonus content on our Instagram at Lorano Gallery, as well as our website, loranogallery.com/podcast. Stay creative, keep creating, and no matter what, be passionate about your art.